Alright, welcome back. We're going to be moving on to the next part of the course. So where I left off last time, I just read through all the getting started information. It took me an hour to get through because I got distracted. I wanted to demo a project I had already kind of been working on that is a little bit related to the subject matter. Really not really, but I just wanted to demo that and ended up making an update on that. So let's focus, hopefully get through this next section a bit faster. So we're going to have the notebook servers section, and this is Colab. So using Colab, it's a free GPU notebooks from Google. Table of contents, opening a chapter of the book, using a GPU, notebook setup, using Google Drive. This is a quick guide to starting practical deep learning for coders using Google Colab. Colab is a service that provides GPU-powered notebooks for free. It's based on, but slightly different too, regular Jupyter notebooks. So be sure to read the Colab docs to learn how it works. NB. Colab is, so I don't know what NB stands for. I'm wondering if those are the initials of like an author or, but in any case, NB. Colab is a free service that may not always be available and requires extra steps to ensure your work is saved. Be sure to read the docs on the Colab website to ensure you understand the limitations of the system. I'm curious enough to just do a quick Google search for this. So, Nota Bene is what it stands for. So, it's yeah. Opening a chapter of the book. You can open any chapter of the book in Colab by clicking on one of these links. Okay. Well, let's just click the first one, see what happens. So it's got to load a bunch of stuff. Okay, so now we've got it. Now this is the Colab. It's not an actual Jupyter notebook, so there are going to be some limitations. Alternatively, head on to the Colab welcome page and click on GitHub in the enter a GitHub URL or search by organization or user line. Enter fastai/fastbook. You will see the course's notebooks listed there. Click on the one you are interested in using. Nota Bene. Chapter 2 includes widgets, which unfortunately are not supported by Colab. Also, in some places, we use a file upload button, which is not supported by Colab. For these sections, either skip them or use a different platform such as Gradient. Colab is the only platform which doesn't support widgets. Using a GPU. Before running anything, you need to tell Colab that you are interested in using a GPU. You can do this by clicking on the Runtime tab and selecting Change Runtime Type. A pop-up window will open up with a drop-down menu. Okay, so I guess I gotta do that every single time. Notebook setup. The first cell contains the code necessary to set up Fastai and other libraries you'll need. It looks like this. Okay, so let's see if we got that. Yep, we got it. So we got Pip Install Fastbook, import Fastbook, fastbook.setup_book. Click the Run triangle on the left of that cell. or press Control Enter to execute the cell. When you run the first cell, you may face a pop-up window saying, "Warning, this notebook was not authorized by Google." You should click on Run Anyway to get rid of the warning. Okay, so we can see a lot of stuff is happening. I think what's happening right now is it's just doing the pip install. Yeah, so that's why all these progress bars are there, because it's installing it. Oh, but it wants me to have an authorization code or in some way authenticate. So I've got to be logged into an account. I'm gonna log into my Graham's Networking Lessons account for this. So yep, we'll allow that. Okay, so here's my authorization code. Okay, so I think this is the final thing. It's mounted, so we can see we've got Fastbook installed and ready to use. Using Google Drive. Colab lets you save your work to Google Drive. So when you run the cell, it will ask you to log into Google Drive. You'll need a Google account to do this. After you've logged in, you can execute the next cell, which imports everything you need from the library you just installed. It looks like this. Okay, so here's the first cell, and the first cell has some additional information associated with it. Quite a bit of additional information, more than I really care to read right now. So let's find the second cell. Okay, I don't see the second cell. Oh, here we go. We've got 44 cells. Oops. So it looks like I ran all the cells by accident. It'd be nice if I could have numberings for the other cells. Okay, so here we've got number 4. So I would like to find 3. Here we got number 3. So here we got number 2. Let's see if we can find. Okay, so it looks like the cell we've got here is different than the one they're expecting. The second spell they are expecting is this from Fastbook import star, but our second cell is 1 + 1. And luckily, when I run that, it does say 2, but at this point, I would not have been surprised if it were a different number. So your Google Drive will be available in a variable called gdrive, which will point to path/content/gdrive/mydrive when saving files and models during the lessons. You should use directories in this path. After opening a notebook from GitHub, you will need to save your work to Google Drive. You can do this by clicking on File and then Save. You should see a pop-up with the following message. Cannot save changes. This notebook is in playground mode. Changes will not be saved unless you make a copy of the notebook. Okay, so let's go back. And this is Introduction to Jupyter. Let's move on to Chapter 1 intro and see if cell 2 more closely aligns. Okay, I'm going to leave here without making changes. Aha, so this is, I accidentally was in the wrong section of the... Now I might want to do the intro because it did seem to have some pretty interesting basic information that I might not be aware of. So let's do it out of order and just do the intro here, which is the intro to this course, and then go back and do the intro to Jupyter itself. Click on Save a Copy in the Drive. Okay, but we're going to need to do these first steps. So I'm going to do cancel here. And before I do that, I'm going to change the runtime type. Okay, and now I will hit run anyway. Okay, and this takes a bit of time. We saw on the last one, and it might require authenticating again. Let me click on this. So, oops, I'm in the wrong. So it's going to require authenticating again because I'm in the wrong one. I want to be here. Perfect. Okay, so yep, I've got authorization now, so I can run this second part. So I think everything's good. So yep, I ran everything here. Now my Google Drive is going to be in a variable. It'd be nice if I could see the variables somehow. What does this do? Well, how about this? What does this do? Perfect. Okay, so I can see not the variables, but I can see the. So, well, I guess it kind of is. Oh no, I can see the file directory because it'll be saved in a variable called D drive, and that variable will point to this path. So here I'm just seeing the paths. I'm not sure if I can see the actual variables somehow, but even this is going to be pretty important. I know in some IDEs you can see what variables are initialized, but let's just keep moving on with this. So click on Save a Copy in Drive. Which now I don't see that. I see copy to drive, but I don't see save a copy in drive. Let's go to edit file. So I do see that that exact language being used under the file dialog box. I don't see it here. They're probably the same thing, but I'm just going to go with the exact language. This will open up a new tab with the same file, only this time located in your drive. If you want to continue working after saving, use the new file in the new tab. Your new notebook will be saved in a folder called Colab Notebooks in your Google Drive by default. For more advanced tips on using Colab effectively, have a look at this blog post. Okay, we don't need advanced tips. This is a beginner course, so I'm done with Colab here, and from now on, I can just work off of this one because I want to keep a local copy of it. So let's go into my Google Drive and let's verify that it is there. So I might need to switch accounts. So we've got a bit of a problem here. Even though I entered authentication for my second account here, it ended up saving it in my primary account. So that's definitely not ideal. Okay, so now I've got to sign into my Gmail for my secondary account. Hopefully there's nothing too embarrassing or confidential that was seen there. Okay, so here we go. Okay, lots and lots of junk mail. I'm surprised no. Okay, lots of junk mail. So let's. Okay, so yeah, I've never logged into this before, but we should be getting an email soon. Request sent, so maybe they sent it to my wrong address. I have my phone here, so I'll check it in my private email on my phone, if I may. Yep, so they did it for okay, so so this is kind of a nightmare because I don't want this to be in my private. I want it to be in my public for this channel. So I've got to find a way to. Okay, so I think I know what to do. So I'm going to go back into my drive. Okay, now this is my drive for my personal account. So I'm going to delete this. It's not going to be necessary to be in here. I want this in my drive for my more public account. Okay, perfect. So now what I've got to do is click back on collab, go down to yep. So this chapter 1 intro. Okay, and now we're just going to do the same steps we did before. So we're going to change the runtime type to GPU and hit save. Then we're going to run the first cell. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Okay, so before we do that, we're going to change over to the other account. Okay. So we don't need to save the changes there. Okay, so now that we're in the other account, the purple account, we'll change the runtime type to GPU. We'll run the first cell, then we'll run the second cell, and then we'll save it, and it will show up in the Google Drive for the second account. And that's what I'll be working off of for this, is my second more public account. Okay, but I still need an authorization code. That is fine, I can give it. Okay, so we've got it mounted. Very good. So my drive, now this is where we had problems before because we don't know if my drive, okay, but I think this symbol here is kind of gives more meaning to these words here. My drive defines the word my. because before my meant my private account, but I want it for my public account. So okay, so yep, everything's good. So let's do a save a copy in Drive. Okay, so now here's the version that's not in Drive, that's just on Colab Research, and here's the version that is in Drive, so we can delete that other version. And this is the one we'll be working on, so let me go to Drive. Okay, so now here's my private drive. We can see that has not been recreated, so let's move over to my more public account here. Perfect. So we're ready to go. Let's hopefully get all the way through chapter 1 if we can. So yep, we finished this part using Colab. We've got it saved in my more public drive. So now let's read about gradient, and then we'll end the video there. This will be notebook servers. Next video we'll do full Linux servers, and then we'll start the lessons in a third video. That'll be lesson 1, and that's what I'll need to finish by Monday. Now, does lesson 1 have 8 lessons? Or does lesson 1 have a panel that shows the other lessons? Okay, it looks like lesson 1 is simply a video with a questionnaire, and you can search the transcript of the video. So lesson 1 is simply watching the video, I believe. Now, I don't know if lesson 2 is a lesson within lesson 1, and in fact lesson 1 is also a lesson within lesson 1, but it seems pretty clear that lesson 1 has a panel that shows the other 7 lessons, and it's not that lesson 1 has sub-lessons labeled 1 through 8. So by Monday, I just need to finish this. But before that, I'd like to do the prior steps. All right, so let's read about paperspace gradients. I won't read the table of contents for this because it's quite a bit longer. Paperspace gradient and Fastai. This is a quick guide to getting started with deep learning for coders on paperspace gradients. With gradients, you get access to a Jupyter Notebook instance backed by a free GPU in less than 60 seconds without any complicated installs or configuration. Gradient is built on top of Paperspace, a CPU accelerated cloud platform. Pricing: Paperspace recently introduced a free tier of free. Wait, was there a paid tier of free GPU and CPU instances before? How much did the paid tier of the free service cost? And for that matter, how much does the free tier of the free service cost? Because if it costs anything, I'm probably not going to use it. Okay, let's try to figure out how much the free tier of the free instances cost, because it seems like there were non-free tiers of the free instances. So it seems like free has a different definition to these people than it does to me. Let's see if my own personal definition of the word free aligns with what is in Google. Not under control or in power of another. Okay, so this doesn't have to do with so without cost or payment is what is, yeah, this is what I had assumed the word free to mean, but let's see if they are requiring a cost or payment, because it is unclear. Okay, so they do, it looks like they do require a cost or payment for low, mid, and high. But so here we go. Here's their payment tier. So the free tier costs potentially 25 cents an hour, anywhere from 25 cents an hour to like $8 an hour is how much it costs if it is free. So to use their free service on a non-free tier, it can cost you anywhere from a quarter or a fraction of a penny to $8. But I think to use their free tier, it doesn't cost you anything, I think. If it ends up not being the case, instead of forking over money, even if it's like $5, I'll probably just try to get it to run on my whole map server. I've got like 16 gigs left on it of RAM, so I don't have any GPU, but I do have a laptop that I might be able to use that has a GPU in it. But I definitely am not interested in paying for a free tier of a free instance. Alright, to use them, choose free GPU or free P5000, recommended in step 2.6, create notebook. So in step 2.6, I'll be using free-P5000, but if I need to make a payment of some source, I won't be continuing with that. Note: additional capacity and more powerful GPUs are available with paid instance types. Okay, so free GPU and CPU instances sound like they are paid instance types, but there are free. But a free tier is not a paid instance type. Use the Fastai promo code, see below, for free credit when using these instances. Oh, that's cool. You can get, okay. Paid instances are billed while they're running per second, and the rate is dependent on the instance type selected. Notebooks must be stopped to end billing. Wow. Continue using the new gradient preemptible instances, which can save you money when using paid instances. Step 1, create an account. To get started, create an account here and confirm your account by clicking verification link in your inbox. Okay, so let's do that. I won't need this anymore. We're going to sign up with Google, and hopefully will ask me, yep, it asks me to use accounts, so we'll use this more public account I've got. Okay, so create an account here and confirm your account by clicking the verification link in your inbox. So let's go into my inbox. Oh, and that's the wrong inbox, so let's switch this over. Okay, now let's go into my correct inbox. Okay, so welcome to Gradient. So, okay, so I've got to click a link. Okay, I don't see a link to click. Okay, there's no link to click, so I'll just skip that part. So step 2 is create notebook. So log in and select Gradient Notebooks. Okay, so here's Gradient, we'll select that. And then let's look for notebooks. Okay, so I don't see any option that says notebooks. I do see a Jupyter notebook, a machine learning tool, and a model to production. So let's click this one because it has the word notebook in it, where the others do not. Let's actually try clicking. Okay, that didn't do anything. Yeah, let's click this one. Okay, so now, aha, so we do have the same screenshot that they've got. So step one will be choose a container. We're going to choose Fastai. Perfect. Okay, now step two, we're going to choose a machine. So I believe it's going to be the free P-5000. So number one, select the type of machine you want to run on. Important note, remember you can change the instance type at any time. This means you can start out running on an inexpensive or free instance, and then whenever you want, switch to a much more powerful instance to execute code as efficiently as possible. Instance type is independent of your notebook. When you return to work, the instance type should self-select to whatever type you last used, but it's a good idea to always check. This will prevent billing and performance surprises. Oh man, yeah, that could be a nightmare. You end up with a giant bill. So it looks like we do have things that don't have a cost associated with them. Now they are using this word free that they seem to have a poor grasp of the meaning, but I don't see the option for P-4000. So yeah, dash P5000. I don't see that anywhere. I just see these two options here. So maybe I can search for one or filter it out. Okay, so it looks like there's some differences. So here's the P4000. It looks like they're now charging for this one. They have the ones where they're using this word free are, oh no, here it is. Okay. Okay, so let's, oh! Okay, but it looks like the specs of this one are the same as this one. So I'm just going to select this one. But I will make a comment on this in my Slack channel of the people I'm working with. It looks like right now Discord cannot be reached. So I'm going to try it on my phone. I wonder if there's an issue with the site itself. Okay, yeah. So. Okay, and then I'll leave a message. Unfortunately, I won't be able to leave a robust screenshot or anything like that, but I'll leave a message. But I think this one will be totally fine. Let's click on that and try to continue with that. So notebook will be placed in the following storage region. Okay, and we've got 5 gigabytes. So yep, let's move on to notebook options. And I'll just keep this screenshot there. Okay, so name your notebook. So let's name it. Let's say it. I'll name it GNL Austin group. Okay. Okay, and then click, okay, enter your payment details if using a paid instance. If you have a promo or referral code, all paid instances require a valid credit card, or even if you have one, all paid require a valid credit card. I'm not entering in my credit card. I refuse to do that. So let's hope that I can, okay, so it says to go down to the payment section. I don't even see a payment section, probably because I don't need one. So let's just click Create Notebook Plus. And the instructions did not say to, the instruction did say to click that, so I followed the instructions and I clicked that. So your notebook will go from pending to running and will be ready to use star. So I don't know what that means, but let's see if it's in running where it was in pending before. Okay, so my notebook is not in pending or running as far as I can tell. There's no indication of either state. So let's try, so it looks like I can't click it again. I'm going to try it anyway. Nope. Okay, so I can't tell if it's in pending or running. That's going to be important for me to know in order to follow the instructions. I do have this check mark here. Okay, and it can only be private if it's paid, but I don't want it to be paid. Okay, so I've got a blue check mark here. I've got a blue check mark here. So I've got 3 check marks. And I clicked Create Notebook. I gave it a name. But you can see I've got Project 0. So unfortunately, the instructions here just are not clear enough for me to follow exactly. But I'll just move on. Hopefully it'll make sense later. So step 3, update the Fastai library. Before you start working, you will need to update the Fastai library and lesson notebooks. To do this, you will have to access the terminal. You can do this by clicking in New Terminal. Okay, so now it looks like I can no longer reach this website. Oh, you know what? You know what happened? I accidentally turned on airplane mode, trying to take a screenshot, so I no longer have internet access. Okay, so hopefully that notebook I created is in a good state now. Let's look at my profile because maybe we can find it here. So oops, it looks like we've got no notebooks found. So we're going to need to do those steps again. So let's do them again. I think it'll be faster this time. So we'll go back to the console, we'll click on Gradient, we'll click on Run a Sample Notebook, we'll click on Fastai, and then we'll choose the appropriate one. So we're going to choose this one here. And good news, it's actually selectable this time. I think last time it wasn't selectable. So then we're going to give it a name. So it's going to be Graham's Network Lessons Austin Learning. Okay, and then now I can click this, and now that I have internet connectivity, it should go from, it should go into running state. So it should go from pending state to running state. and then we should get like a star symbol maybe, or just some indicator that it's finished. Okay, so it might take a little bit of time. I'm going to pause the video and come back, and then we'll be doing step 3 where we open up the okay, we'll open up the terminal. So I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I'm back briefly. I just wanted to show that it did in fact move on to running state. Let's take a look at the instructions again to see. Okay, so yep, it's going to move from pending to running, and will be ready to use. So I don't know if that just means it's ready to use now, or if after it's finished running state. But actually, you know what? I think it's ready to use now, because it's saying your notebook will go from pending to running and will be ready to use. So, and then it has a star symbol, which I don't understand, but I think it's ready to use once it's in running state. So let's move on to the next step, which is going to be update the Fastai library. Before you start working, you'll need to update the Fastai library on listed notebooks. To do this, you'll have to access the terminal. You can do this by clicking in New Terminal. So let's click that. So we've got to find the option to select a new terminal. Let's try projects. Okay, so now we've got some instructions here that looks like they're a bit different from what I had there. Now we do have some actions here, but I don't see. So let's see what this open action does. Okay, so the open action I think was the right thing to do. It took me to a place that mirrors what we see here in this screenshot. So once you click on terminal, a new window should open with a terminal. So my job right now is to click on terminal. So here we have the terminal. So let's see if we can. Okay, so clicking it just didn't accomplish the goal. So let's try to do that. Let me try clicking this stop button. Okay, so the stop button, I think, stopped it. So hopefully there's going to be a start button, because I think that's going to need to be started. I'm gonna oops. I'm gonna pause it here quick. All right, I am back, and I've got these doors closed. One is across the hall is the bathroom, so I apologize if anyone saw that. Let's okay, so we gotta wait until the teardown while teardown is in progress. So I'm not sure how long it's gonna take to tear down. Let's refresh the page. Maybe it's done, but it just didn't update the GUI. Nope, it's still working. So yeah, it looks like we're kind of in a bind here until I can hit this start button again. So I'm gonna pause it and I'll come back. Alright, so I am back. I'm cooking some more food. I got the second door closed now, and it is stopped, so we're going to start it again. Yep, we're starting the second notebook. Yep, the team for now is just going to be a private workspace, but I might end up making a team for the friends I'm working on this with. So I've reached my running notebooks limit. I just get one for free, but that's all I need because I'm just doing this introduction course. So yep, I'm going to need to wait for it to go back into running. Right now it's in provisioned. It was previously in pending. So once it's in running, I can click that open button, and from there, hopefully find a way to get a terminal. Okay, I'm going to pause it because my thing's done cooking. I'll be back. Alright, so I am back. I'm cooking some food, so I'll need to pause it again later. We've got it in running state now, so let's click open. Let's go with the classic this time. It might be easier to find the terminal that way. Nope, so I don't see it being any easier, so let's go with the version 2 beta. Okay, so I still don't see the terminal anywhere, so it says you can click in new and then terminal. So let's look for new. N-E-W. Ah, perfect. So really hard to see. Perfect. And this I will be okay. And now I'm going to write in here, open in Discord in your browser. If it will allow me to do so, it will. And then I will go to the group I'm participating in, which is here. Say this might help. Okay, so yep, that was a pain in the ass for me, so hopefully me sending that message will help somebody else. So let's collapse this plane. Perfect. And let's continue on with the next step. Once you click on terminal, a new window should open with a terminal. So we're going to type pip install Fastai fast core upgrade. Okay, and then we're going to do cd fastbook and then git pull. Okay, so it's already up to date, so now I can close the terminal window some way, somehow. I guess I'm not sure how to do that. Let's just try doing exit. Okay, so the terminal window is closed, but what if I just click here? Ah, perfect. Okay, so yep, so we can see we've got no terminals running. If I hadn't done that exit command, that would probably still be running. So next step is going to be step 4. So I'm going to do a pause, and then I'll come back and we'll do step 4. Alright, so I'm back. We're going to continue on with this course. The goal is to get through lesson 1 by Monday. Kind of slow moving now, just getting all the stuff set up and stuff. But the good news is once I finish lesson 1, lesson 2, I won't have to do all this. So this is going to be, yep. So now we're going to do step 4, start learning Fastai. You should now have a running Fastai notebook. It might take a few seconds to provision, but once it's running, you just have to, okay, well these steps were out of order. Click open to access your Jupyter notebook. From your Jupyter notebook, click on Fastai, and you should look at something like this. Go back to the first page to see how to use this Jupyter notebook and run the Jupyter notebook tutorial. Come back here when you're finished, and don't forget to stop your instance with the next step. Okay, so now we can keep reading this section here. Which was what we were reading. So, yep. So I don't know what they mean by the. I don't know. Oh, I see. So in the first page here we had. Well, I don't know what they mean. So let's just skip that. I guess here I hear yeah, so let's just forget about that, and let's skip down to step 5, and this is stopping your notebook. So just click stop here to stop the notebook. So I already did that before, really nice and easy. Yep, and then it will go into a different state. When using paid instances, you will be charged for the time that your notebook is running. You must stop the notebook to stop incurring charges. Okay, so this is not a paid instance, so I'll just keep it running. Although it is probably good to establish good habits in case I were to have a paid instance. You know what, I'm going to do that, because if this were a paid instance and I didn't click this stop button, I would get charged. Additional considerations: managing data. The /storage folder is your persistent storage. Files placed here are available across all notebooks, jobs, and Linux VMs, currently free of charge. This repository is perfect for storing datasets, models, etc. Note: persistent storage is region specific. You'll see the storage region options when creating notebooks and jobs. Sharing your notebook. Gradient notebooks can be shared publicly so others can view and/or fork your work. Just click the share button to generate a unique URL. Viewing a stopped notebook. Gradient notebooks can be viewed without running them, which is good because you get charged when you run them. Just click open to view a static version of the notebook. Promotional credit. Paperspace provides $15 of free gradient credit for using paid instance. The code is to be used for Fastai students only. In your console, click on billing and enter the promo code at the bottom right. The promo code for this course is FastAIGR20. Note the code is valid until December 31st, 2020. Excellent, so it's still valid. Where to get help, discussions, or issues related to course content. We recommend posting in the Fastai forum. For Paperspace specific support, check out the rest of the gradient docs or submit a support ticket with this form. developing Fastai on Gradient. If you would like to follow the developer guide for Fastai and help develop the Fastai library from your Gradient instance, read this section first for some Gradient-specific recommendations. The Gradient terminal is easier to use if you first type bash after opening the terminal window. This will let you use the up/down arrows and explore command history, as well as use tab for text completion. To paste text into the prompt, use Control-Shift-V in the terminal window. Things to keep in mind before working through the section setting up access and GH. Start with the Paperspace and Fastai base container instance that you've already created. Your Gradient instance has Miniconda, not Anaconda, so follow the Miniconda specific instructions in the developer guide. For example, the first command of the developer guide should be conda install -y-c fastai-c pytorch fastai ghnbdev. If you are working through the GitHub SSH keygen tutorials and the SSH-keygen command doesn't work, you first need to install OpenSSH-client on your Gradient instance. Type the commands. Okay, so I'm not doing that, so I'm going to skip these commands. And then continue with the GitHub tutorial. Things to keep in mind before working through the section setup fastcore. Run these clone commands from the /notebooks directory so the repos end up here next to the other ones. Okay, so we're done with this section, notebook servers. So the next section is going to be full Linux servers. So I'm going to stop the video here and do this next section in a separate video. And then the next video will be the actual thing I need to complete by Monday. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.